Well, howdy diddly dandy there, chums. 'Tis I, Captain Stephen. Today, chums, I'm reviewing the Endurance update for No Man's Sky on PlayStation 5, and this has been out for a little while, a couple of days, and I'm really enjoying the new base pass and the refreshed look and the overhaul in general for the freighter. It's long been needed, to be fair, and this has breathed a new lease of life into my freighter base and the way that I go about building it. I do like this new piece of tech that allows you to sort of see the economy and the conflict area inside of the galactic map, and I like how it couples with the other technology to allow you to scan all the planets, which we'll get to towards the end of this video. But I want to touch on some of the things that I'm not so keen on. So I've come across quite a lot of small bugs that seem to be mainly cosmetic, but then saying that, while I've been building my freighter base out, I have had quite a fair few crashes. So this is one of the things that I'm seeing quite often. You put down a galactic trade terminal and the actual center eyepiece just sort of hovers off and just goes on its merry little way around your ship. It's kind of odd. It's kind of funny. But it's there, so it's worth a mention. So there's that. There's quite a lot of those sort of odd little weird glitches. But look at this, people. The fact that we can now build catwalks and mezzanines outside of our actual freighter is freaking great. Just ignore the fact that half of it's disappeared underneath that viewing tower. I'm hoping they fix that because that's really janky. But yeah, look at the views. It's freaking great, isn't it? Beautiful. Really like that. What I'm not liking though is some of the old base parts. The parts that should fit nice and snugly to the wall don't fit snugly to the wall, including all the posters, all the decals and everything else. So you have to put boards up before you can put your poster on the wall, which is really annoying. Some of the NPCs, when you call them in, they glitch into the actual terminal that they're on, or they shrink like that one just did. This is the area underneath that viewing platform that you saw me on earlier, and look at it. It's made my head fall off of my shoulders, and half of it's all disappeared. It's all glitched out. It's gone really buggy. And it just doesn't feel like it's been properly tested. So a lot of these bugs that I'm finding, you can find within like the first 2 hours, say, of just making bases in creative mode. It's ridiculous. I just don't understand why there's so many bugs inside of this. I mean, take a look at this. That's the same base that you just saw me in a moment ago. I just flew out of the freighter, flew back in again, and this is spawned in. What the frickin' fudge is that? What the heck's going on there? That's just not cricket. My whole base is gone. So I can't even get to the terminal to reset it at this point. I'm like, what have I got to do? Find a new freighter then and start all over again? Freaking weird. Can't get anywhere near it. But then I realised, look, you can actually walk through it. Glitch. Which is kind of good, because in this case I was like, oh, am I going to have to delete all this base? Now I could walk all the way through and I could get myself all the way up to the top to see what the heck was going on with this, only to find that because of my freighter design, part of it has now just decided to reappear from previous update. Look, it used to have that sort of shield that jutted out towards the command post. Well, that's all spawned back in again, and that's what's dissecting my freaking base in half. And I don't know how often that's going to happen, but maybe other freighter designs have got this same issue. And it's just why? You know, these updates, they take a fair few months in development. Sean Murray has already said how this works. He splits his team up, so you go work on month 1, you go work on month 2, you go work on month 3, you know, and they have teams working on them. But then for this, you probably would have had months of testing, I would imagine. To have this level of detail of bugs in an update which is not the biggest of updates. Yes, it's a massive visual overhaul and improvement to freighters, but come on. I mean, look, you can see my exotic ship is now morphed into my other ship. That's been in previous patch notes before, that they'd stop ships merging into ships, but that seems to be back again. So we're seeing re-emergence of older bugs as well. So anyway, what do I really like about this? I do like the new tech. I like the ability that you've now got to scan all the systems for their planets from your actual freighter itself, which is really cool. I think I'm going to be spending a lot more time jumping system to system in my capital ship, especially in creative mode where you can just use as much warp fuel as you like. So I could use that maybe to find some decent planets, just jumping around, scanning all the systems, and then fire up my normal save, use the portal code and jump there. to save the exploring expense, you know? So there's ways and means of now using your creative save as an exploring type save just to find some gnarly planets. It's like the infested planets. I find that you find the infested planets in the data unavailable, where you've got 3 pidgets of data unavailable. Jump into those systems and you usually find the infested or nested planets there, and it's so easy now. You can just jump to a new system. So here you go. I'm going to look for one that says data unavailable. So here we go. I've just installed that new tech. Let's just get off of this planet that I'm on right now. Let's go and pick one up. Data unavailable, where are you? There's one. Okay, where's it gone? A friggin' heck. Okay, there we go. Boom. Hit that up. Jump to that system. And what I've done is I've actually installed the piece of tech that lets me scan the planets right by my actual lobby area on my bridge. So I can just run back, scan the system, find out whether it's got a nested planet. If it hasn't, just warp again. Do the same again. Rinse and repeat. And I'm loving this because it feels so functional, you know? And depending on how you build your freighter out, depends on what sort of functions your freighter's going to serve. So I've got all my command rooms there as well, so I can send out all my frigate missions and things. You can see all the screens all lit up there, which I'm loving. I am loving this update massively. But what takes away from all of the glory that Hello Games should get for how awesome this update is how many freaking bugs and jankiness and squiffy bits that they just left in. Whereas if they had a couple of games testers, I'd imagine they would have found a ream of this stuff before it even went out there. And I suspect they did that before they were putting it across for certification with Sony and Xbox. Hence why we've got a massive, great big list of bugs that have been fixed. And that's being pushed out to experimental just as before the Xbox even got the update. They've already put out an experimental patch, which means they must have known about a lot of these beforehand. I would have assumed. I mean, the Xbox might go live yet, and they might get shed loads of more issues, which I don't know. I don't know how they're operating it, but at the same time, I just can't understand why it went live with so many bugs. Now, on the infested planets, you do come across these sorts of new worm interactions, the worm babares. They've been added in. I thought they would do this. It'd be nice to see the Leviathans flying in the sky as well on these infested planets. But now that you can recruit them as frigates, I don't know how that would serve. But it could be, that would be quite cool. Anyhow, let's fly on over. Let's take out these Titan worm babies. Now, I'm in creative mode right now. And in creative mode, you get all the tech. So I've already got the visceral synthesizer inside of this. However, if you go into any other mode, permadeath, survival, normal, you can't get the visceral synthesizer. So that thing that I just picked up there, that viral worm spawn thing, you can't actually pick it up in any of the other game modes right now. Not that you need them for anything other than selling or whatever. So yeah, the viral spawn, can't pick that up. But yeah, it's just another little oversight where if somebody was testing this at Hello Games, they would have gone, hold on, I can't pick that up. Why can't I pick that up? You know, you add in a new enemy, you blow it up, you can see that it's got a drop. You'd think somebody would test picking it up. It's that sort of level of thing that I'm on about. How can that be an oversight? When you're adding in something new, you test it. Obviously it hasn't been tested. That's where I'm going with this. So if I'm going to score this update, I love the update. It's just the amount of bugs is going to detract from my final score. I'm going to score this a 7 out of 10. Hello Games really need to up their game with bug testing. Until next time, goodbye, and goodbye again. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, please hit a like and a subscribe. And I'd like to say a massive, great big thank you to all of my backers over on Patreon and over on YouTube membership. Thanking you, backers. And if you want to support this channel, just don't skip the adverts. That throws revenue down my avenue. Or yeah, just stay with Captain Steve that little bit longer and hit something on this screen. There's merch here now too.